yeah, go to market with some of this stuff and test it. And you don't need to test more than 200 to 500, you know, accounts at a time. And ideally, you deploy that across a variety of channels so that you're not channel dependent. And that's the other key thing here is that, like, we learned this lesson the painful way. We did some growth for a company that sells engineers, and like, it turns out I could write the very best email to every engineer, and it's like, engineers just are not email people. And so it's like, we don't even, like, I won't even work with anyone that sells engineers anymore. And that was like a pretty big dumb mistake. But like, this is why you shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because you may write the very perfect email and your customers might just not be on email. So you need a framework to be able to test sort of pain, messaging, and channel. That's the key thing here, is that, yeah, that's really important.
Well, I want to get to the system and framework here in a second. Before we jump into that, some of the things that you were talking about, we knew that firmographics were not enough, right? So the firmographics, and then you get into psychographics. This seems to be not a combination of psychographics with trigger events. By knowing your persona, and whenever I say persona, because one of the things that you say is target pain, not persona, and my version, and maybe my language is wrong here, Jordan, is that if you target the persona, then you're targeting the person's perception of that with the emotional compelling reason of why they're going to act to change their behavior, right? What is it that's going to cause them to change behavior? So whenever I say that you're speaking to that persona, or you understand the persona, you're speaking to the reason that they're going to change behavior. So I guess with that said, I mean, is this third party, are you really creating almost like a third party marketing data? But I mean, this seems to be pretty in depth.
Yeah, let me answer two things. So a persona is necessary, but not sufficient. And so I'm not saying that you now throw out the fact that you're going after VPs of marketing and send an email to everyone in the organization because you know the pain. Like, no. And so maybe in that sense, my tagline is a little too cheeky, because you do need the persona. It's important, but the problem is it's just not enough. And so you can't, just because you're a VP of customer support doesn't mean that I know anything about your business, right? Like I know you're a VP of customer support. Great. Well, if you're in the fishing industry and you have 100 employees, like, okay, like suddenly that's starting to flesh out the picture, but it doesn't mean that, and like, now let's say, like, well, how have you grown at all in the last 10 years? Like, no, we've stuck at 100 employees, right? Okay. So you're probably not struggling with as many challenges. Well, what's your website traffic doing? Well, your website traffic has shot up by 100x. Oh, wow. Okay. So someone is very much more interested in fishing now. And now I can start to tease out, okay, well, I understand that your organization hasn't grown, but your customers have grown. So you probably are having like dramatically difficult times with, with thinking about, with operations, the variety of things, right? Now I know you're hiring. Okay, well, what are you hiring for? I'm hiring for customer success. Oh, okay. So now I know that you need someone to help you manage the fish. So you can start to see, as you layer on different data sources, you change the focus, right? And you get a much clearer picture of your account. And what you're trying to do is crystallize what your customers know, to figure out who in the market has those problems. And so that's the kind of key here. And it just, employee count and industry and title, it's just, that has nothing to do with anything that's changing in your business. And so you just need to go a couple layers of deep. And usually when you do that analysis and you do it right and you look at those accounts, you're like, yes, these are my ideal accounts. But you didn't get there by picking them. You got there by looking at the pain. And when the accounts came out the other side, you're like, aha, I did get it right. Wow. Like, I had a customer say to me the other day, like, 30% of the accounts you generate are existing customers. I'm like, pretty good then, right? Like, so that's a good litmus test to know if you got your targeting right. If you close your eyes, pulled your name out of a hat, and some of them are existing customers.